Hey guys, it's been a while. I have no excuse for missing 3 months ish of content, but as you can see, things have progressed and I want to catch everyone up. The main thing I worked on was a lot of the wiring, some engine bay stuff. As you can see, the engine has moved in places. It's actually gone in and come out a few times in the last 3 months. But the reason I haven't posted content is a lot of this stuff is I'm learning for the first time. So a lot of the content was like, I didn't feel it was content that was beneficial to people as I'm learning how to do things as I'm doing. And I didn't feel like it was me showing someone how to do something while I was learning. So some of the things, whole wiring harness is completely ran in into the car. We have power wires, all heat sleeved, ran to distribution. We have starter, alternator, brake lines in there, all the distribution cables. Factory cable is still used in there. We can go interior. As you can see, all the wiring's gone back and then spliced over on there. Harness bar is in, if you didn't notice that. So you got brake lights, and then up here, everything is wired for the most part so far. But I do need to do some testing. I don't think I got the brake switch wired up correctly, but kill switch, main power switch, I guess, that'll go in the dash. And then the wire that's sitting right there is, I'm gonna put that wire directly to the Haltech system. And then the green wire right there and yellow, that's fuel pump, fuel level. And then all the panels pretty much wired in. So like things I haven't done yet, like right there are the wires for the wipers. And then I haven't wired in fan and stuff. Some of the things I learned as I was doing this is the Haltech system that I bought the Rebel kit, has fan control and fuel pump control. It has built-in relays, or the solid state relays. So I don't need to use my relay fuse panel on those. So what I have wired for my switches, I don't need a fuel pump switch. I don't need that. It's all gonna be controlled by a Haltech system. So that frees up some space on the fuse panel, also switches. So it's gonna be interesting. I probably can mess around, play with some different options. Gives me some bandwidth, I should say. So we can go to the back. Ooh, good catch. You see wiring, all ran, all wrapped, ground wires. This is the wire for like hazards. I left it in there just to see what I want to do. And then this is the wiring for the third brake light. I didn't wire it in, so I didn't really know if I wanted it. So we're gonna leave that alone for now. And then power distribution, I got rid of the stock one because I wanted to have a connection point, you can see in there, for the wire for the Haltech, as well as the original wire that goes the car wire. So that's all wired in, ready to go. Did a bunch of testing. One, two. We're clicking. And go other side. We got starter relay, fan relay, washer fluid if I have it. Relays clicked, power, high beam. Watch your switch. The best part, we got running lights. All ready to go. And lights go off. Like testing the lights and whatnot. Blinkers worked. I gotta figure out the brake, which I don't know. I might have messed up the plug, but I gotta figure that out. So if we go to this side, what I did was I spliced into these two wires, and then this is constant power, then the ground goes to the fuse panel. So I gotta check to make sure I did that right, because I think I have it as ground trigger for brakes, and I don't know if that's correct. So I gotta figure that out. Other things, brake lines all been tightened. The only thing I haven't put on yet is my rear lines, because when I switched to the M3 trailing arms, it still had the factory rubber, hard line to rubber line in there, and I don't have the right connectors on either end, so I need like a union. So I haven't found those yet. I haven't really tried. So that's one thing. So other things, let's go to the engine bay. This may not look the same, or may look the same, but I have new spring pockets on either side. You kind of see from my shoddy welds. My studs were broken on my old ones, so I got new ones, welded them on, sturdy enough, and then I did some beating of the tunnel over here to get some clearance down here, up here. I didn't go up, but I did some clearancing. I didn't do here, but I did this side in that corner. As you can go over here, you can see some spots where I was rubbing on the bell housing. So yeah, so that's something I'm actually tonight, I'm gonna pop the bell housing off the adapter pipe and do a secondary bell housing only fit up to see how that looks. See if there's more clearance thing I need to do, and kind of go from there, because I don't really know. So that's something we do. But engine has been in, figured out I need a clearance, pulled it back out. So soon, the next time it goes in, it should be for good. Put the bell housing on, all the clutch assembly, run the lines out, and then we should be good. So that's next, but that's not tonight. So clearance of the bell housing and maybe some other stuff. So I will make an update later tonight, and then I'll get this video up finally. Thought I'd be clever, so I'm working on bell housing, adapter stuff. Thought it'd be clever, so I had to replace these bottom screws. So I thought I'd tip the transmission so the oil didn't come out. Lo and behold, the oil was coming out of there, and I didn't notice. So I just, tons of gear oil. It looks fresh, just all over the table. So, lucky me, gotta clean that up. Okay, I'll update in a minute. Let me update you. So, I finished clearancing that. You can see a little more dent in there. down there. The other side was not so much. Knowing this engine shifts passenger side because of the mounts, I clearance more there. The bell housing fits in there pretty nicely. So, as you probably don't know, as I'm using the AR5 transmission out of a Pontiac Solstice to adapt to the LX. So with that, it comes with an adapter plate and a new bell housing and whatnot. So one of the things I was working on was part of the kit is replacing these 3 screws, which I threw over there, because the bell housing sits flush here, so you need a clearance. The screws protrude a little bit. So got these torqued, got these replaced, but what happened was I pulled this one out, oil came out. So I clocked the transmission thinking I was smart to get the oil over here versus down here. And then it started coming out the shifter bushing like a big idiot that I am. So clean that up, and got my non-chlorine brake cleaner, clean that up. Fun times. Now my phone's covered in oil, hands are oily. So back to this. So one of the things this comes with, for the throwout bearing, you're replacing that, those factory components which are over on the bench. So you press out the pin, put in that new fitting, and then converting this all to -3 AN. So that's done. Whatever. So I got new lines, which comes with a remote bleeder, which comes through the bell housing through these groups versus trying to having to drill the bell housing. You're clearancing it to run the factory like bleeder and whatever. So we got those. I'm at the point where now you can put the bell housing back on. It clocks to this groove in the machining, so you can see that mill line right there. So yeah, I'm working on this. I'm not filming me do this because there's some good videos already out there of people doing this swap kit onto the transmission. So even if you go to Fabot's website, it has a direct link to a guy that's doing this kit exactly. So what I'm working on now is I'm going to put the bell housing on. I got some Loctite and whatnot, so I'm going to put that together, get that done, and then I'm off to the races. All right, so I got the bell housing finished up. I want to show you. So yeah, I want to show you how I did this. The one thing, I watched a couple different videos on how to route, or I should say I watched one video that was on the Fabot's website, and I didn't care for the way they ran the line. I think this looks a little better. Time will tell. So I ran both lines up and over. This line on some of the videos ran down and over this way. And with the starter here, even though it's like here from like the gear and whatnot, I didn't like that it was sitting here. So I ran this line over and put it on top, and then ran this line. So this is, just make sure I get this bleed line. I put over the top, and then the pressure line sits up top. So I did it that way. Not exactly the same. This one, instead of running under, I went over. Puts a little more of a kink in it here, but I think that should be okay. It's not gonna be moving a ton or whatnot. So looks good. These are torqued, Loctited, torqued and Loctited, torqued and Loctited. These are a good on the wrench. No, actually I didn't put a torque for those. These are tightened with Loctite. The adapter is Loctited. So everything is good. So The transmission's all but putting the fresh fluid in. You're good. So, next step, let's go. All right, I'm finishing up. Got the keys going back inside. So, finished doing all that stuff, as you saw. Next thing, I wanted to get done and start figuring out my fueling system. So, don't bash me. I went cheap. So, I laid out some stuff. I did get some, it's all the Evil Energy brand. So, fuel regulator, it's just a stock GM, no name one, or off-brand Corvette based regulator. So I got fittings on there. So going to -6 and lines. I am gonna run the standard barb lines from the tank to underneath the car, and then I'll switch over to AN from there. But I laid out what I'm doing. So soft line to barb fitting, A line, and the return line's going to straight. I'll go AN to fuel filter to regulator, and then regulator to engine. I do only have 45s left to go from there to the engine. So my plan is I'm going to order some 90s just to have, just in case of what I want. And then from an engine standpoint, I have that adapted. So that's what I'm doing. Calling it a night. It's later than shit. So yeah. Thanks for checking in again. Peace out. Have a good night.